Hi there, friend. I'm Marvie Agnes from Lead Life Well, and today I want to talk to you about a topic that maybe you don't even think you need to hear about, but that is learned helplessness. That is something that will end up holding you back and hurting you, both personally and professionally, and I'm guessing you don't really want that. Your thinking plays a very key role in your success or your lack of success. And I want you to kind of think about it as in this way. It's not really a magic pill of positive thinking. It's actually the horse, right? It's the horse pulling the cart. That is your thinking. So everything follows behind the way that you're thinking. And the interesting thing about horses and carts is they actually leave grooves in the path. And if you are to go back and drive through that path again, it's super easy to fall back into those same old grooves. And the same thing is true with our thinking. We have certain grooves or ways of thinking that we naturally fall into. And it takes some effort to create some new grooves, to turn our thinking into a more positive way of thinking. And the first time is probably going to be a little awkward and hard. Second time maybe still requires quite a bit of effort, but progressively as you work on it, that thinking becomes the new groove. And that's what we want to have, those happy grooves or paths in our brain. So I want to share with you 3 ways that this learned helplessness shows up in our life. And the first way is that we personalize. We take everything personally. And odds are we're going to kind of interpret it through the lens of our fear monster. So if your fear monster is that you don't matter, everything people tell you is going to be put through that lens and be interpreted in that way and taken personally. Or maybe if your fear monster is you don't matter, it gets put through that lens and you take it personally that you don't matter. And honestly, it's not fun. It's really hurting you as you take in information in that way. It's a propensity to take in information in a very personal way when it actually has nothing to do with you. So pay attention. Are you taking things personally and interpreting them in that way when actually they're actually not about you? So the second way that this learned helplessness shows up is that we see things as pervasive. Instead of seeing things kind of related to a specific event or a situation or a conversation, we make it a blanket statement that applies to everything. It is kind of a twist on all or nothing thinking. It's always going to be this way forever and ever. And man, that's a hopeless way to look at life, right? When you have that pervasive feeling that things are always going to be negative. And then the third way that we do that is that it's always going to be negative. It's permanent, right? And that is an interesting thing. My granddaughter at one point went through a phase where everything was bad, bad, bad. So permanently bad. And we laugh about it now, but you know what? As adults, sometimes we have that kind of permanent thinking too. It's always going to be bad. Always. And, in that place, it's really hard to have hope and to have a positive outlook on things. And that then plays out in how we carry ourselves, how we operate with other people, how we go about our work. And it has an influence. So I really want you to pay attention to the ways you're taking things personally, the way you're seeing things as pervasive, and the ways that you're seeing things as permanent. Those are some hints that maybe some learned helplessness has crept in. Consider the ramifications. It's like if you have that, you will end up with this why try. Everything is pointless. And in that place, you're really going to be stuck and eventually slide backwards. And you don't want that, friend. So I want to encourage you to really think about how it is that you're taking in the information and if maybe some of that learned helplessness has crept in maybe it's time to work with a coach and see how you can transform the way that you're thinking. And then finally, leaders, I want to encourage you to ensure that the cultures that you're overseeing don't allow that negative learned helplessness to creep in. Make sure that you are modeling a more hopeful way of thinking and a more proactive way of thinking. You know, there's always something that can be done. There are always options. And so how can you ensure that your team stays on a proactive path? Hey, if you'd like to learn more about me, I have links below that you can touch base and kind of learn a little bit more about who I am and what it is like to work with me. I would love the opportunity to chat with you and explore maybe the thinking patterns in your life or work that need to be addressed.